Research Hub, Research Project Writing online chat. I want to say a very big sorry, a very big apology to you for ensuring that or for coming on late. Okay, so I want to say sorry for coming on late. It's because of technical issues. We encountered so much of technical issues. We never bargained. I'm very sorry for coming on late. I want to say a very big welcome to all of you watching this video live. I want to say welcome to all of you in the world. This is GER Hub on YouTube, Genesis Educational Research Hub, Research Project Writing Live Chat. Now, in this chat, we communicate one with another on problems regarding research project writing from all over the world. So if you're joining us live, thank you for joining us. And if you're joining us, you must have seen the thumbnail, irrespective of the technical issues we encountered, that the thumbnail for today talks about your theoretical framework. Okay, so writing your theoretical framework is what we want to discuss today on our research project live chat, research project writing live chat. Okay, so I want to say a very big welcome to all of you. If you are joining in, thank you for joining us this night for this brief discussion. Okay, so thank you very much for joining us. Now, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that now by clicking the subscription button below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, and please, if you've subscribed, tell someone about the channel and what they stand to benefit from the channel every 8 o'clock by on GER Hub. Please tell someone about the channel. Tell somebody about the channel as it concerns what we stand to give them on mathematics. Tell somebody about the channel on what we stand to give them on statistics topics. So if you're experiencing a little bit of difficulty, then tell somebody about this particular channel. So on the channel, we talk about research project writing, we talk about mathematics topics, we talk about statistics topics. Thank you very much. Now, that being said, let us go straight into discussing what the thumbnail talks about. We want to talk about the theoretical framework of a research. Now, it is a very difficult problem to so many persons writing research projects at any level, be it at undergraduate, postgraduate level. It is always a problem to some persons or several persons who want to write a theoretical framework. Now, some people write theoretical frameworks into their study without knowing why they do so. So to some persons, it is just formality. It is something that just has to be in their research project. So whenever we have a research project live chat, I usually would tell people things along a particular set of points. Okay, so point number one is what I want to begin with. In my point number one, I want to answer the question, where should your theoretical framework be in your research project? Now, to answer that question, short and simple, your theoretical framework is a component of your literature review. So your theoretical framework is found in your literature review. Remember our class, if you joined our class on literature review, I told you practically, or in the real sense of it, your literature review should be made up of three components: the empirical framework, the theoretical framework, and the conceptual framework. And in my videos, I would love you to check out those videos we had made earlier on empirical review, on conceptual review or conceptual framework. I would love you to check out those videos. So today we are talking about the theoretical framework, and I'm saying that the theoretical framework, to answer the very first question in today's live chat, where should I find or where should I locate, or where should I put my theoretical framework if you're writing a research project? Please put it in your chapter 2. If your chapter 2 talks about your literature review, your theoretical framework should be in your chapter 2, and that is my first point. So for those of you joining in, we are discussing writing your theoretical framework, and I'm saying, to start with, let us answer them, let us discuss this particular topic in questions, question by question, okay? Question by question manner. So I'm saying that the place you find your research theoretical framework, or where you should put your research theoretical framework, should be in your chapter 2, okay? it is a component of your chapter 2, and that answers question 1. Now, question number 2 is this: what does theoretical framework mean? Now, some people, like I said earlier on, are writing research projects. Some people that are writing research projects do not know what theoretical framework means. Okay? Now, and because they do not know what theoretical framework means, they tend to just write it for formality. So if you ask such persons, why is this in your work? They don't know. And if you ask them again, why is your theoretical framework the way it is? They still don't know. So let us answer that question. What does theoretical framework mean? So it is very important you know what it means. Now, theoretical framework is that component of your literature review that gives a structure to the theory backing your research work. So I am saying again, theoretical framework is that component of your literature review that gives a theoretical structure, a theory that backs up the work you are studying, okay? The work you are researching on. So that means, in another way, that most research work would actually need a theory that backs what you are studying or what is being studied. So not all works, take note, need a theoretical framework. And that's what I want you to know about this second question. So the second question we are trying to answer is, what is a theoretical framework? And I'm saying that theoretical framework is that theory or those theories that give a structure to your work, backing the theory of your work. It is that component of your chapter 2, your chapter 2 being your literature review, that gives a theoretical structure to your work. What does that mean? I am saying that not every work needs a theoretical framework, but to any work that needs a theoretical framework, it means that that work has to be backed up by a theory that is related to that work, giving that work a structure. So now, that being said, I said that there is no rule that says all works must have a theoretical framework. And I'm saying not all works have theoretical frameworks or need theoretical frameworks. Okay? So sorry for that interruption. Back to what I'm saying. So I was saying for question number 2, not all works need theoretical frameworks, but we must know what theoretical framework means. So what is theoretical framework? I'm saying that theoretical framework is that component of your literature review, the chapter 2 of your work, that gives structure to the underlying theory of your work or the underlying idea of your work. Now, that brings me to the next thing I want to say, number 3. Now, for number 3, what I want us to discuss is, what is the relevance of a theoretical framework in my study? Now, take note, this links up with number 2. Remember, we said that theoretical framework is that component of your chapter 2 that gives a structure, a theoretical structure or a theoretical backup to the study in question, or the underlying study, or the theory of the underlying study. Now, that means that the theoretical framework of your study is that important, because it helps to give an element of structure as it concerns the theory that backs up your work. So what I'm saying in essence is this, that the relevance of the theoretical framework to a work that needs the theoretical backing cannot be overemphasized. Okay? So if your work needs a theoretical framework, then it needs that theoretical framework because that work needs a structure. It needs a reference theory to which you can actually rely on for a structure. Now, that brings me to number 4. Now, in number 4, having said where it should be found in your work, the theoretical framework, having answered the question, what does theoretical framework mean, and having talked about briefly the relevance of theoretical framework, let us now consider how to write your theoretical framework. Remember, the thumbnail talks about writing your theoretical framework. Now, if you're out there and you're struggling on how to write your theoretical framework, you're struggling with how to write your theoretical framework, then please listen to these few tips I'm going to give you. Now, look at your work quickly. If you want to understand how to put up your theoretical framework, look at the work itself. Answer the question, does my work demand or does my work need a theoretical framework? That is one question you must answer. So if you are to write a theoretical framework, then you must start with deciding whether or not your work needs a theoretical framework. Remember, I said earlier on, not all works require theoretical framework. So if you're writing a research, then the first question to ask yourself is, does my work need a theoretical framework? If you can answer this question, it will be the first step to guiding you on how to write a theoretical framework if it needs one. Number 2 point you must note in writing your theoretical framework is this. Now, let's say you have identified that your work needs a theoretical framework. Then mind you, let me just tell you how to identify whether or not your work needs a theoretical framework. You can identify whether your work needs a theoretical framework or not based on the topic. So it is a topic. If you are writing on a topic that is opinion based, okay? If you are writing on a topic that is opinion based, let's say you want to talk about students' perception about a particular subject and their performance in that subject. Now, take note, such a work will need a theoretical framework because it is opinion based. So most works that are opinion based usually demand a theoretical framework. Okay, so in such a study, you would need to know what the existing theories are about the perception of students or the perception of people as it concerns subjects. Now, you must take note of that. Remember, how you identify whether or not your work demands a theoretical framework or needs a theoretical framework comes from the topic. And I'm saying one clue, just one clue among several that will guide you on how to identify whether your work needs a theoretical framework is to look at the topic itself. If the topic is based on opinion, okay? If it is an opinion-based study, then it will certainly require a theoretical framework, because you need to make, if you are trying to investigate based on your opinion what it is about a particular matter, then you need to search for theories, whether general or specific, whether general or peculiar to what you're about to study, if such theories exist backing your claim or your would-be claim or your assumptions. Now, that brings me to number 2, having said that. Now, if in number 1, you have been able to identify whether or not your work requires a theoretical framework, and you now have identified that it needs a theoretical framework, then it brings me to number 2. In number 2, the next step you need to take in writing your theoretical framework is to go deep down into archives, deep down into the internet, into online sources, or into textbooks or materials to search for theories that are suitable to the structure of your work. Now, there may be several theories on the discussion or the study you're about to carry out, but take note, you must be able to select which ones are relevant to the study you are carrying out. So there may be 7 theories on a particular matter, but the one that concerns your work may need 1 or 2. The one that is closest in structure or in structural backup to your work or structural support to the study you are carrying out may be 1 or 2. So just because there are 7 theories on perception of students on a particular subject does not mean that I have to go through all the theories on perception of students, okay, on subjects. No, you have to look through all the theories, read through them. How do you search for these theories? Search for these theories on the internet, search for these theories in textbooks, search for these theories in materials, which could be online sources. Search for theories that are related to what you are doing. So if you are working on, for example, students' perception, take note, your research on students' perception is your own opinion or your own assumption as to the relationship between students' perception on subjects in relation to their performance in subjects. So because it is opinion-based, it will require a theoretical framework. What will the theoretical framework do? It will give a theoretical backup or a theoretical support to your claim, your assumption. Okay? Now, I'm saying that to identify whether or not your work needs that, you have to do such. Now, if you have been able to identify that your work needs a theoretical framework, I am saying go to step 2. Step 2 would require you to actually search for theories that are relevant to your work. And I'm saying to search for theories that are relevant to your work would require you to go to the internet. It will require you to go to online sources. Yes, of course, on the internet. It will require you to go into journal articles. It will require you to go into textbooks. It will require you to go into any material that is in line with what you are talking about, okay, or in line with what you're about to investigate. Now, I am saying that brings me to step 3. Just because you went on the internet and found close to 7 or more theories on or theories that are related to what you are talking about does not mean that you have to need your work would need those 7 theories. Now you have to scrutinize those theories to know which one out of the 7, out of the 6, out of the numerous theories that are related to what you are talking about. You need to go through each of them to know which one is best suitable to your work. Okay? So in step 2, scrutinize, search for the theories on the internet. Step 3, scrutinize the theories and select the ones that are best suitable to your work. And that brings me to step 4, where I would end my discussion in this live chat. Now, in step 4, please take note. Once you have been able to identify that your work needs a theoretical framework, and you have been able to go in search of theories that are related to your work, and you've been able, after identifying the theories that are related to your work, to scrutinize them, reducing them to the ones that are best suitable to your work, then comes the last thing you must do, the actual setup of your theoretical framework. Now, in setting up your theoretical framework, please take note, when you talk about a theory, you must tell us 2 things about that theory. So write the theory, probably a theory, somebody's theory, Mr. X or Professor X theory, or X theory or XYZ theory on a particular matter. Please don't just write the theory. Write the theory, write who owns the theory or who developed that theory, and write the year that theory was developed by that person. So in trying to set up the theoretical framework, whether 1 or 2 theories that embody your theoretical framework, tell us these 3 things about that theory. What is the theory? Who proposed that theory or developed that theory, and in what year? Then after telling us that in the header, you can now go through the theory itself. Okay? Now, after stating that in the header, comprising those 3 components, go into stating the theory as they propose it, as they developed it. Now, in 1 paragraph or 2, you may tell us the theory as it was proposed by who proposed it in that year. And in the next set of paragraphs, you now tell us how that theory would help your work, how that theory will give us a structure, will give a structure to your work. That is what you tell us. So in the setup of a theoretical framework, start with writing the theory or the name of the person who proposed the theory or propounded the theory, the theory itself, and the year it was developed. Then underneath that header, tell us the theory itself. State the theory in 1 or 2 paragraphs, depending on how bogus the theory is in statement. Then in the next set of paragraphs that follow, maybe in 1 or 2 paragraphs, tell us how that theory relates to your work. This time around in your own words, not in the words of the theory itself. After stating the theory itself, tell us in your own words how the theory relates to your study. That being said, thank you very much to those who joined us live. Thank you to those who will be watching this video. Please, I am very sorry for coming up late. We are supposed to start this class or this lesson by 8 p.m. We usually would have these lessons by 8 p.m. For some days, I've been trying to put up some things that have made me not to be available online to have this class with you. But today, tomorrow, and probably next tomorrow, we shall continue with having the classes every 8 p.m. Today I came up late because of technical issues. Please take note, that won't repeat itself tomorrow. Please join us live tomorrow by 8 p.m. on this live chat to discuss another topic. If you have a question based on all I have said on this particular topic, writing your research and theoretical framework, please drop a comment in the comment section below. You can actually criticize our video and help us improve it. Please drop a comment in the comment section below. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click the subscription button. Subscribe now. Please subscribe because it helps the channel grow. It helps us in a great way to making our channel grow. And please smash a like on this video if you like the content, and also make sure you tell someone about the channel and what they stand to benefit from the channel. Aside research project writing, on this channel we usually upload videos on mathematics topics and statistics topics. Thank you very much for watching this video. Do go through what we have said. If you didn't understand some of the things, watch the video all over again, and I'll be seeing you in the next live chat tomorrow. Thank you very much for listening.